Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Snow. I'm your host, the Gold Crow, uh, being your DM. Well, not for you, but for these guys for this day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And with those guys, who are my wonderful friends, as I always say, uh, one of which is going to recap what happened last time on Pokemon Snow. Take it away, Ice. What happened with the slimes?
We fought in the end. Well, no, not just that. We also happened to ended up looking into a lot of what kind of happened involving Ledric specifically. I mean, we did fight him, but after the fact, there was sort of looking through his logs, realizing that, yeah, it seems very much the case that Voss and Wolverick kind of threw him under the bus. He was sort of out with the old, in with the new, and what else? He sort of went crazy going under there as a result of. We're not sure if he sort of just lost himself to the slime or the slime took over. It's not entirely clear with that, but we've taken his books, his logs. Parties apparently found some sort of biomancy book of his, and we also ended up discovering some cavern under there. We ended up discussing for a bit with Kira about where we go from here, what's going on, if we're finding other people, and plans to go to the ice continent as a exit plan. And she brought up a very good point about like what exactly are we planning to do to actually show to Loomhalls that hey, there's a lot of bad going on involving the theorem, because a simple protest clearly doesn't work, as it would just be a small bit of news before kind of just disappearing, as they've been able to just deal with bad press in the past. So we're kind of rethinking how exactly do we prove this. From there, we ended up going back to the hotel for the day, and we ended up leveling up before now we're sort of on our way back to the university.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I'm thinking I forgot something.
At the university. At the university.
Oh, right. Excuse me. Wolverick and Mordain are missing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of trying to figure out now. Well, are they dead? What's happened? Oh boy.
All right. Yeah. So you can have a heroic inspiration for the session.
Yep.
Well, heroic inspiration in general. Um. Let's actually go into like what you got at your pickups for your level.
All
Let
right, we leveled up.
Yeah. So as a, I believe you're just level 8 bard now, Nicholas.
Yep. So, Nick got an extra level 3 spell slot. I forgot to put down what new spell he learned. I'll have to do that real quick, but I do know what feat he got since we're now level 8. He got the Warcaster feat, so now he can use the spells for opportunity attacks, and he has advantage on concentration, and his charisma has been bumped up to the big 2-0.
Oh God, I forgot about that. This was a feat level, so you're like, I
Yeah,
haven't changed the overlay. Oh, for you non multi-classing people anyway. Yeah, okay. So I believe you were like pining on getting Dimension Door, maybe, or something like that.
oh right, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking of getting Dimension Door.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that before we signed off yesterday. Yeah. Well, whatever you fill that in with, and while we recap, I guess we'll see it come into play.
Yeah.
All right. And Malcolm, what did you get?
Malcolm has officially entered triple-digit HP levels, and his dex increased by 1 due to the Mage Slayer feat. So when he attacks something that is concentrating, apparently doesn't matter if it's a spell or not. Just if it's concentrating, it has disadvantage on the saving throw it makes to maintain concentration. And he effectively has a legendary resistance against anything that could make him fail an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw.
The mental stats, yeah, that's your AC. I think didn't your AC go up because of that Dex bump too?
Yep, it went up by 1.
Yeah, that's pretty juicy. I like that legendary resistance thing, especially as a barbarian, where you're like prone to those kind of things.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, cool. You didn't get any like rage. I think that's next level. You get another rage damage boot. Well, it goes to 3, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But for the time being, yeah, you'll probably. I think you'll enjoy that. What did Dante get, Ice?
Let's see. So with level, this is level 6 cleric now. So that means I've got another subclass feature. In this case, it's Sentinel at Death's Door. So I get to start denying critical hits, which is fun. And alongside that, I just get another spell slot, really, for 3rd level.
Yeah. And your spell slots are ever changing, but do you have a?
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's just another
Uh,
3rd level one, so it doesn't
It's
really
another
matter.
3rd level slot. So for me, it just kind of means there's another spell slot that's
Yeah, nothing new.
just available.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the anti-critting is going to
Oh, yeah.
be good.
Very, very good.
Because I don't know, whenever I have adamantine armor, it's just nothing makes me feel better. It's saying, oh, the crit doesn't affect me. All right. Well, is Proteus back yet?
He's still muted.
No.
Still muted.
Okay. Well, Proteus will be here. He said he'd just be 5 or 10 minutes late. I was filibustering with that level up thing, but we do that anyway. So, all right. So we cut back to the school where you've learned that both the library and the transmutation and biology class are closed and canceled respectively. Where would what would the 3 of you like to do knowing that information now?
Nick's still gonna go to Professor Eric Ellis's class, so my plans have more or less not changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I figure we're going to kind of go business as usual until the end of the day when we kind of
Yeah. Because I think
gather together our insider teachers.
Okay. And Dante, where would you like to go?
yeah, because I think I was also planning to still go to Nightingale.
Okay.
There was also the idea that we'd be talking with her as a group.
Okay. All right. So I'll have you just kind of go to all 3 of those classes. Do you want me to play out the lecture, or just kind of give you a general gist of what they're talking about?
Go on, Sonic.
I think, at least for Eric Ellis, I think I'm good to just sort of skim over that unless there's something important that needs to be said.
All right.
I think kind of the same goes for Nightingale.
All right.
As far as Soulshade, the main reason Malcolm's going to Soulshade today is just to try to get a read on his demeanor right now, because I want to see how he's reacting to that whole his abjuration quote unquote didn't work.
Okay. I'll do kind of a rundown. What Eric Ellis in his class is he's going over is just how it's basically where they're theorizing where Modaborn come from, and there are a lot of theories, and one of the popular ones is Pokemon made pacts with fallen deities in the long past, and the descendant, or their offspring kind of inherited that through bloodlines, and it's kind of a gene that has just been passed down since those ages. But what it basically gets to, if you were one who made a pact with one of these deities, it's basically guaranteed your child would be a Monoborn child, even if you weren't. Basically, warlocks produce Monoborn. And in Nightingale's class, she is going over the resurrection spells and how they are frowned upon, and the lesser one, Revivify, capturing the soul before it kind of leaves, how there's a short time frame from it, isn't as frowned upon, but the kind of higher tiers ones, at least on the continent, are almost outright banned. Since Malcolm is actually looking for something, you notice, well, do an insight check. It's the usual, it's business as usual with Soulshade, where
All right.
yeah, he's locking the door.
Yeah, 13.
It's one of those situations where he does seem a little off, but you can't really discern what. But I'll go into I'll go into him a little more, so you can maybe get some clues. Where he gets everyone in the class, and he says, yeah, it's good to see you all. It's good to see you all. And you notice there's a servitor skeleton here. And there are several, like about 30, large cups of water on his desk.
Okay.
And he says, now, I know some of you may have heard some rumors, over the weekend about the security of the school being compromised, but you do not have to worry. Nothing happened. It was either a malfunction or even if it was some trespasser, nothing seems to have happened. So you can rest assured everyone is safe here, and nothing bad will happen at this school. But let's not dwell on such a dour matter, and let's conduct today's exercise. I'm glad to see you back in here, Master McFluff.
Hi.
After you expertly solved the goal of my exercise last time, that I gave no rules on what you could do to fortify your fortress. And Mr. McFluff here did the most efficient matter in stopping the attack before it happens. That is why I have conducted a new exercise, where there will be some rules this time. You've probably noticed the large sum of cups of water on my desk. That is why I will be having our servitor here hand 2 of them to you. Do not drink them. I will unlock the door later if some of you need to go to the washroom. But I hope you're thirsty today. So the 2, as kind of the servitor is going around and just kind of plunks 2 large cups of water on your desk. Do not drink them yet. You'll be coming over here to do that. And Soulshade, uses a mage hand to pull a thimble outside on his desk, and he fills it up with water. The goal here is I will be having each of you come up with your cups of water, and you will sit across from me. We will be doing a bit of a competition, and you could use your ingenuity to perhaps win that. Your goal is to drink those 2 cups of water in front of you before I finish mine, as he points down to the thimble. The rules to this are, though, and you must follow these rules, I will let you have a head start on your water, so you can drink 1 before I start, and you must put down the cup before I start. There'll be no outside help. It'll be just you and I. We cannot touch each other's cups, and it's plainly simple. Whoever finishes their cups of water first wins this exercise. So I'll have each of you come up and start that in alphabetical order. And he gets you to start lining up. I don't know if this is a chore for Malcolm to, see where M falls in with the other students.
Malcolm starts going over his alphabet in his head, and as soon as he gets to J, which he does not know, he kind of gets confused.
Yeah, and Josh is trying to go in front of you, but you keep going in front of him. But it eventually sorts its way out with Malcolm kind of being shuffled back and stuff like that. And you watch as these students go up to him, and they're sitting at a small table right now. And the 2 cups of water are put in front of the student, and the thimble is in front of Soulshade. And you see a student just chug the glass, and then it puts down the cup, and just Soulshade just drinks it and wins. And it seems to go that way until it's up to you, Malcolm. Let's see if you can be 2 for 2, Malcolm. As the servitor fills up the thimble again, and your 2 cups of water are placed in front of you.
All right. Malcolm drinks his cup of water, and then he turns it upside down, places it on top of the thimble, and holds his cup down on top of the thimble while he drinks the other glass of water.
You almost see a tear forming in his eye. A tear of happiness, or less. I guess I should do an insight check for that, but yeah. He's like, well done! That's 2 for 2, Mr. McFluff!
Yay!
And, now this is what I'm talking about. It's out of the box thinking of this, that is where abjuration is where the real magic comes from, and you could do it without even being monoboard or anything. That has nothing to do with it. The best defense is thinking tactically and stopping, bending the rules to your advantage, of course, so to speak. I cannot touch his cup while he is doing that. Very good. He will give you... I will get back on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But, yeah, with that, the classes have ended, and the bell begins to ring, and the students begin to leave.
Does Malcolm have another gold star to put on his other horn?
Yeah, he's got it's like a rewards program at a coffee shop where you gotta stamp it. So you got 2 of them. Or it's a badge case in actual Pokemon, or you got the other star.
Okay. A badge, so he's got 1 on each tassel.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I know what I'll make it. It is like Proteus's ward, but it's only 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a one-time use 10
Yeah.
ward.
You
Okay.
can equip it and unequip it whenever you like. It follows the same rules as that abjuration bracelet you got.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So class is over, and I guess we'll start from the left, going clockwise. So Nicholas, the bell rings, and you're allowed to switch out a spell for an evocation one if you want.
For a enchant? No, not enchant. Evocation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot his class for a second. Let me look. Need to think on that for a second.
All right. Yeah. I'll. Yeah. You're essentially allowed to do that, so you can think about it. Um.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes. And just everyone seems to be leaving.
All right. Uh, Before he leaves, Nicola. Well, yeah, after everyone else leaves, but before he leaves, Nicholas is going to ask Professor Eric Ellis, do you mind sticking around here for a bit, possibly even after Malcolm's special classes? There's something we need to just tell you as a group.
Well, I will be here for as long as I need to be.
Okay.
But I do have to stay for Malcolm's classes if he decides to come.
Yeah, he's usually pretty prompt about that, so.
Are you gonna go there, Malcolm?
Yeah, but he's gonna make a brief detour first.
Okay. Where are you gonna go?
He's gonna go up to Nevin.
Okay. Then, what else would you be doing here, Nick? If he says he's gonna wait for Malcolm.
Um, yeah, no, if he says he's gonna wait for Malcolm, then yeah, that's pretty much what Nick wanted to say for now, so he's probably going to leave.
All right. And where would you plan to go after that?
Probably wait in the dormitories for everyone else.
All right. So you're just gonna go back up to your room. All right.
Yep.
Dante. Everyone
Right.
begins leaving Nightingale's class.
And he sort of just waits for everyone else to leave before he just stays after, like he has previous times.
Ah.
Uh, Apologies about all going on again. Nightingale, just I'll be a bit direct this time around. So we ended up finding some distressing things regarding just our searches with the book, and well, we've been sort of also like talking with a few of the other professors in general, not even just regarding the Necronomicon, but um, I think it might be helpful if you were to actually join us uh, over with Eric Hellis in his class. We've wanted to talk about a few things today.
Did you tell Nikolai about the Necronomicon?
No, not directly. This is more related to some other things. Uh, It's why I think you want to hear about this, because this is, well, this may involve more of like the missing students.
Hmm. I can I can join you. Yes.
Thank you. Again, I do apologize that this is
You have nothing
all
to
of a sudden.
apologize for.
But we'll be meeting there a bit later today, as I know Eric Ellis actually has a brief bit of private tutoring involving one of the Pokemon in our group, so it may be a little bit.
All right. Well, I will I'm aware he spends a little more time in his classroom than usual, and I will did you want me to go to his class room?
Uh, yeah, we'll be meeting over there.
All right. I will make my way over there and thank you again. The fact that I am still here teaching proves you're someone I can trust.
And he gives her a nod and a smile at that. It's really it's nothing. I do honestly believe that, well, and I've shown, I guess,
Hmm.
it's absolutely most certainly not you with this whole case involving the book. And well, even the lecture today was just some interesting food for thought.
Hmm. It's I guess that kind of necromancy is not usually spotlighted. It's usually the art of reanimation is the necromancy that people tend to their minds go to first.
Right, versus
Yeah.
an entirely different sort of thing where one is attempting to grab the soul either
Yes.
just after or far after death, and that's
Bringing them back from the beyond.
mhm.
But I'm sure we have other matters to discuss with Nikolai, and I will I will make my way there when he is ready.
Thank you. And he'll excuse himself and head for the door.
Yeah. All right. And where would you go after the fact?
Um, he's going to he's just gonna head outside of Eric Ellis's room and just sort of he'll wait over by this table.
Yeah, there's a few tables. There's like some students there socializing and buying some books from here. All right. And
Actually,
mm,
thinking about it, because we've got the production coming up, so I guess maybe actually, yeah, given we have the production coming up soon, and there's the whole our roles is potentially being protecting knights for Ivy. Uh, Dante's going to go into the bookshop and see about purchasing an acting book.
all
Anything
right.
relating on the subject.
You can get like acting for dummies for like 10 gold.
Yeah.
I have like 5 of those. I can loan you
Oh.
one.
Oh, I guess that works.
Yeah, they're probably like all gone because Proteus bought
Oh.
them all.
Huh.
It'll only help you with int checks in pertaining to acting. I will tell you though. That's why I still have them all.
I see. Oh.
Well, I might give like some mechanical benefit if you're gonna study the book.
Yeah. I can just dispense them on everyone.
Yeah.
I guess they're all missing.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we have that, but oh, I think someone bought it actually. I'm really sorry.
That's all fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll just sort of be waiting outside the classroom here,
Okay.
just for the others to convene, and also, after Malcolm goes by.
Yeah. And Malcolm, what are you doing upstairs?
Okay, so he kind of as the other students are filing out, he kind of comes rolling in and he says, hi, Mr. Father Professor Devin. I know I'm not one of your normal students, but I kind of got a question for you.
Yes, we met when you were suffering from that necrosis. Are you all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. It's just I was me and my friends were doing some studying. So I learned that a long time ago there was like this big old war, right, between the Hallowed Flames and all of the magic people.
That was the reign of the sorcerer lords, and it might not even be described as a war in both instances. One side was basically a tyrannical dictatorship, and then the second was a witch hunt.
Okay. Uh, but y'all's kind of patched that up, right? Like the Hallowed Flames and Manaborn don't really have problems with each other anymore, right?
There has been a lingering prejudice on both sides. And ever since the Hallowed Flames have been dispatched to the ice continent, I myself have noticed those tensions have grown greater.
Malcolm kind of thinks about it for a second and he says, well, you don't think it's history's kind of going to repeat itself, do you?
I don't know for certain, but I pray for something like that on either sides. I do not wish for arcane spellcasters to step boundaries and beginning oppressive rules, nor do I condone the Inquisition like style of the clergy on anyone for being born differently. And I'm only one person, so
Well, all right. I just figured I'd ask you since, well, you used to be with all of them, so maybe know the general gist of how the organization as a whole kind of felt on the whole situation.
I it's no secret I left because of the more militant stance of the Hallowed Flames as of late. I believe our faith should be a beacon of hope, not an inquisition.
All right. Well, that does make me feel a bit better. I mean, I ain't mana born, but there are people out there who are, and they ain't done nothing wrong. So
Yes.
it's just, yeah, I ain't from around here, and where I am from, it's just kind of just this little place out in the middle of nowhere. So all this is kind of a whole new thing for me to get to know.
But
I just wanted to talk to someone who knew how things were behind the scenes a bit more.
I let me make it clear I do care if Manaborn are overstepping their boundaries and crossing the line into becoming malfeasant, then
Yeah, I get that.
yes. But that is how I would respond to your question.
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. I gotta get going. I kind of have a special class afterwards, regular classes. So, maybe I'll see you around again.
All right.
And he's gonna roll out, kind of. He's just gonna roll down the stairs at like as fast as he can, and like leave skid mark in the
Malcolm just roll out.
cafeteria as he rolls over.
All right.
Nick's probably in the room hearing Malcolm roll down the steps.
All right.
It's not even loud. It's not even a loud crashing. It's just squeaky noises.
Let's cut to the Loomhausen proper, where we have. I assume after you were. Oh, what'd you get for your level up, by the way, Proteus?
Yeah, so that's part of why Proteus went to go see Polly.
Ah, okay. So I guess we'll see that when we get there.
Yeah. But needless to say, he had a little side project with Polly involving his painted pet and the level 6 ability of the illusionist. For those who know, you know.
Yeah. Any notable spell
And then
pickups?
I otherwise picked up Orb of Memories and Phantom Road as my level up spells.
Cool. You didn't get anything. Oh, I guess you're the main thing you're getting is that level 6 feature. Like Dante got his for the subclass. All right. Well,
Yep.
let's start. The other party takes the other lightning rail and goes that way, while you're going the clockwise direction.
Yeah.
All right. You have a free pass, correct?
Yep.
All right. So after getting off here, where are you gonna go?
Well, yeah, just pull up the map. Okay. So I am, just gonna head my way to the Artificers to go hang out with Polly and do the shenaniganry.
All right. Roll a d6.
Yep.
Here we go.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You, being a nice morning, you stroll through the streets. There's like a free sample of some bread by Tavern Row. You may pick up a loaf of bread, just little after freshly baked bread. You know, that's the intoxicating smell and just the warm, hot bread in your mouth that you may pick up. And you get to the outpost where you are kind of like presented. You present your scanner, and they send you down to the basement where Polly is. And yeah, you easily find his room too, because there's just like a bunch of wires and stuff funneling in through the cracks of the door. So you don't. It's really hard to get lost here or not be able to find him with that landmark. And yeah, knocking at the door, he opens up and says, "Ah, Proteus, come in." And you just hear the unlocking and just moving stuff out of the way. And his room is like got a bunch of cans of energy drinks and takeout food all over the ground.
He still lives like a college student.
Ah, come in.
All right, yeah, I'll come inside.
Well, you're not with the others. What did you wish to speak to me about?
Well, there's two things. We've once again, as the scanners probably already told you, felled a mighty beast that we've decided on the item that the scanner recommended we could create from it.
Ah, yes, I did get that data. I was excited for you to bring in the material so we can forge some useful items.
Yeah, and Proteus will procure such things.
Yeah. And yeah, he just kind of takes it and he gives you like this like containment box that once you put it in, it just kind of like shuts, and then he like sets it to the side for the time being, and he says, "Was there anything else you wish to do here?"
Yeah, I was thinking about your work with the kaleidoscape, and I've noticed that they seem to have some similar qualities to illusions in some sense.
Ah, yes, it has made me. Don't worry, as I said before, I will. Your secret is safe with me. It is merely for research, and I'm actually quite excited. I get to do such a thing to begin with. But yes, it's very similar to illusions.
Yes, I was wondering because of the connection, I suppose, that I have with it, would it be possible to use the scanner as a kind of focus to project some of the stamps into the world as illusions?
Wouldn't you know it? I was already thinking about that, actually. It gave me the idea of just seeing yours producing such things within virtual reality. If you really think about it, it's virtual reality creating virtual reality. And so, he goes and shuffles some, like, papers and some, like, machine parts that look like they were salvaged from, like, a garbage or something. Or a dump. Uh, I made this. And he puts out this kind of, like, overlay for your spell book that has, like, it has, like, a camera on the back of it. Like, the camera lens. Like, it sort of looks like a smartphone kind of overlay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it will not corrupt anything in there. As much as I know about Monobor, this should not do anything to anything contained inside of the thing. It's more drawing on your power to focus through it.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a try. Part of why I came up with this idea is because, well, I can use this, and he'll kind of like demonstrate by bringing up the painted pet,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and then more or less start talking about how he thinks that because such qualities are available to him with the kaleidoscape, there might be able to do a similar thing with the stamps.
Yes, yes. This is what I like to call augmented reality. But it combines what you do with that spell you are using and the avatars in which are in the kaleidoscape. You just simply need to focus on them, and you could bring them into being. It combines the properties of the. It combines the properties of illusions with the properties of virtual reality, which makes something of substance in that case, but isn't real. It's very hard to explain, but perhaps we should get your show it on the screen with yours as he like goes over to the screen, and he pulls up the screen where you just see this like quarantine area of like Malcolm, Dante, Nick, and you. This horrible like just kind of like green grid just void. And as you see, when Proteus inside of here uses the contraption I have created, he is able to replicate the four of the others in the digital space within a digital space.
Yeah, so then that might, with this augmentation, we could probably do a similar thing,
Yes, except
as well as potentially call some of the stamps we've been scanning as well.
yes, exactly. It's the limits of your imagination of what you can project. Well, in terms of creatures, anyway. But I hope you find use of it. I'll give you this free of charge. You do not need to provide me with anything. Just continue providing data with these monsters you are slaying.
Yeah, well, we will definitely continue to do that. And if anything, I think it'll add to your research to see somewhat how they size up against each other in a, I guess, real environment.
Yes, exactly. That's what's making me the most excited about this. Was there anything else you needed?
I think that should be it. You were surprisingly on top of this. I thought I would have caught you off guard with that.
Oh, nothing really catches me off guard. Well, besides what you send in, because these are, well, strangely fascinating creatures that I would have never guessed existed. And I guess we make items out of them. But I should have those items ready for you tomorrow, if you are willing to drop by.
All right. Well, let's see about when we can pick them up, but yeah, I appreciate working with you.
Yes, the pleasure is all mine. Yeah, and with that, he'll let you go out, and he gives the container to one of the little steel defenders rolling around, and it just begins, its eyes turn green, and then just goes a separate way. Yeah, and where would you like to go after that?
Given how much time it takes just walking, I'd probably have to go back to the lightning rail if I'm going to meet everyone for our talk with Nightingale.
All right, yeah, roll another d6 for me.
No avoiding it in Polyland. 3.
All right. Yep, you're good. You get back to the lightning rail. You get back when classes are still going on. Where would you go? Wait for them to end.
Let's see. Well, I guess this is when Proteus would find out that the library is locked down.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Proteus would probably just kind of try to learn the new patrol patterns of the Mechagross.
All right, do an insight check or a survival check.
Let's see.
Or I guess insight or arcana or survival.
Well, you said the magic A word for a wizard, so that is a 12 with a natural 1.
Take
I was wondering-
take a luck point.
It already happened.
We have a new homebrew rule where if they get a nat 1 fail, I give them a luck point.
Well, we know it failed.
All you can really gather is just there's more of them now. It isn't like police state levels where they're just like watching you at every turn, but they obviously put more of them.
Yeah. So, how dense are they in like the upper places, or is it mostly the lower places they're appearing?
They're more dense on the lower places. You can tell even without a check.
Yeah, like I'm more or less just gonna have him like walk up and around. I'll go up the stairs.
Okay.
Just kind of look around, see what I can see.
Like, I'm not sprinkling the map with them, but there's just, you see them like every other corner you turn, you just see one kind of marching down.
Yeah. So yeah, there is okay, so yeah, they're on patrol and there's like one every corner, every room.
Yeah.
Well, except for small ones, I suppose.
Yeah.
Alright, makes sense. Well, that's what I wanted to know.
All right. And where would you go after learning that?
Um I well, since the library is not open, I can just hide out next to the bookstore again.
You see Dante
You see-
there.
Wait, I thought classes were still going just a little bit longer.
well, if you're sitting there, you're just eventually going to see Dante there.
Yeah.
He goes in the library and then comes out with nothing.
Well, I hope you've got some good
Hmm?
intel or lesson or whatever went on today so far.
Just a interesting lecture from Nightingale, kind of funny enough, sort of almost in my sort of wheelhouse. At least less reanimation in the typical sense and more things like revivify and sort of the other natures of those spells. So it was interesting. But I did talk with her after, so she's going to hopefully end up joining us after everyone else is done with classes.
Well, it's good to hear.
Apparently, I was planning to go look through the bookstore after the fact, just with our whole production coming up. Since, we'll probably be helping out Ivy on stage. Apparently, they're out of books related to acting.
Oh, you mean one of these? And he's just gonna blow it up. Pass him one of his books.
That would certainly explain things.
Yeah.
Figured it might just be helpful to have one of these for myself, just so that, if we do have to jump up on stage, we don't completely botch that.
Yeah, I've read I think one of them. It hasn't come up yet though, but it's interesting how once you read a book, it's almost lost its value to you.
He just kind of raises an eyebrow. It can't be that specific of information that you can't use it elsewhere.
Well, what I mean is once you like learn the contents of the book, like it kind of has no purpose for you anymore.
Oh, you mean like on a second reading?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
almost like if you drank a potion that just made you better at that one thing, but only temporarily, for one instance. Just like how a potion only works for one instance.
to be fair, if you didn't get much of it the first time, I doubt reading it again would be that helpful. He just kind of takes the book and thumbs through the pages.
All right.
But he's not actually going to read it or anything. He's just
Looking at the pictures. Looking at,
A Malcolm approach.
looking at interesting excerpts in it. All right, speaking of Malcolm, yeah, you show up at Eric Ellis's class.
Wham!
Does he slam through? Wait, he slams through the door.
Yeah, he goes.
Yeah, you just see this rolling cotton ball just roll past you guys as you're talking about the acting book.
Yeah, the door flies open with so much force that it kind of swings itself back shut.
And there's Malcolm.
Ah.
And then he headbutts the door and then opens it and comes in. Sorry, I'm a little late.
That's all right. I would expect you to be on time next time, though.
Yeah, sorry. So today I just want to learn the word joke.
Joke. Well, it has a vowel in there. The O is used in a different way than you're usually accustomed to. Another difficult part is the K can sound like a C sometimes, like the C in your name. It's just a flaw with the common language, I find. Why you have two symbols, two letters that can sound exactly the same. It makes teaching it a little more difficult. The E is silent, but it is needed there to accentuate the O. And the J is another word that is often confused with the G. Sometimes you have selected a very fickle word in terms of learning the letters of them. But as before, you will write it down several times and get those. Try to remember the rules to it. Usually, when you write out a word and it looks wrong, you know it's the other language. For instance, you may know if you spell joke with a C, you looking at it at a glance, you may get used to it being a K instead. But this is what this exercise is to teach you. And yes, you will begin learning the nuances to the letters you already know, and learn the letters that you don't.
Now I need a word that has P and Q in it, and then I need all of those funny letters at the end of the alphabet. Ever closer to literacy.
And as you are finishing up your literacy lesson, you see Nightingale making her way over to Eric Ellis's room.
All right. Well, Proteus is going to wait for Dante's cue here because he has no idea what's going on.
All right. Thank you for joining. We're still waiting on one more.
Yes. She knocks on the door and as like you finish Malcolm, he says, "Come in." And she comes in.
The heck is where's Corvin?
Well, we can always ask the thing, but I'm sure that he has the same idea and will find us.
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting on.
Okay. What are you doing, Nicholas?
Nick was kind of expecting people to filter into the dorm before we did this, so I guess at some point in time after, time passes, he'll probably be like, okay, am I missing something here? And then shout people's names in the amulet to figure out that, oh, everyone's there already.
Yeah, they're all pointing in the same place.
Oh, great. Guess we aren't meeting here then. Okay. And yeah, he'll be
All right.
making his way over.
Yeah, and you make your way to the classroom as well.
A little late.
Yeah.
I was expecting us all to meet in the dorms first.
And
And we're just kind of talking with Kellis and also Nightingale.
Yes, but still.
Oh yeah, I guess before we go in there, I should probably cast this spell. You know, assuming no one can see me. Well, I have.
Are you sure
It's,
that
it's somatic only. It's just yeah. It's just zone of discretion,
okay.
so no one can hear us.
Okay.
Right.
And Aracella says to Nightingale, I'm sorry, Glinda, but these four wish to speak to me.
Oh, we want to talk to her too, Professor.
Yes, they invited me here. I did not realize they did. I was not made aware of that.
Apologies on that. It was a bit sudden, but a lot has happened, so.
Very well. What did you wish to speak to me about?
Well, we've got... To say we've got a lot of news would be an understatement, and it ain't exactly fun news, so... Get ready, because... Well, I guess to start with, you've noticed that both Wolverick and Mordain are currently missing, correct?
Yes, they have been missing since the weekend.
Well, we've discovered that... I'm not sure if the reason they're missing is because they think we're onto them or if they want to check on something, but we have figured out, and we figured out that Mordain has some sort of involvement in the missing student's case, and I'm not sure what Wolfrick's role is, but we figured out he's got a bunch of dirty laundry as well.
Are you sure?
And we have proof of this.
Are you sure Mordain has been a long-standing member of the faculty for quite some time?
Well,
I'm sure
I think, as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. He's going to pull out like his little contraption with the image capture in it. He's going to fiddle with some knobs on it. He's going to smack it, take out the crystal, blow on it, put it back in, and then have it work. And yeah, he's going to like put it on the desk for them to see Mordain.
As you could see here, the Mordain you've been talking to for quite a while now is not the Mordain you thought you knew.
Eric Ellis is taken aback by it, but Nightingale seems like more horrified by what she sees.
So, from what we can now, to have full disclosure with you, I was the one who caused the lockdown. Because I found evidence such as that. And believe you me, there's more. But that's the biggest one.
Glinda or Nightingale is looking at it, and she says, "Yeah, this is a very high level of necromantic spell. It is something from the Necronomicon. It is a gel-like substance put over someone to put them in hibernation. And there's usually some sort of trinket attached to it that another person wears, and that person assumes memories, form, everything undetectable. And not removing, there are two ways to remove this, and you can try and remove it off the victim, this gel-like substance, but you may kill them in the process. Or you remove the trinket from the one assuming their identity.
So
The latter is safer, but the former can be done, but it needs the utmost precision. It is
so that
equivalent of, this may not make sense to you, but it's the equivalent of, and Eric Ellis cuts in, dispelling a spell of the ninth circle.
Oh, that's
oh. So this means that whoever has been Mordain is actually whoever cast the spell, or is it just
Yes.
Well,
even related to that?
It's whoever casted this spell. And that would mean it was if your contraption here is to be believed, the Mordain that we have seen over the past however long is a Monoborn in disguise.
more than likely. I'm fairly confident that the shadow creatures that attacked us in the basement were likely cast by him.
Yes, I'm getting the feeling. Nightingale says, I have the feeling the Necronomicon has just been a red herring to try and pin this all on me.
More than likely, yes.
well, from what we can tell, Wolverick is more than likely involved with this as well.
I took your suggestion, Professor Eric Ellis, and we went to the grave of my friend, and he confirmed to us with Speak with Dead that Wolfric was involved in Professor Ledric's murder and in clearing out some slimes that were terrorizing the theater. We happened to find the slime form of Professor Ledric, who also confirmed to us that Wolfric is responsible for his death.
And while Nick is saying that, Malcolm's going to take the diary out of his bag and set it on the desk for Eric Ellis and Nightingale to look at.
You also kind of see that when Nick mentions specifically Speak with Dead, Dante kind of like looks down with a little bit of shame.
Yeah, and then that's when Nightingale says, you did what?
I understand it's potentially even a little bit disrespectful to the dead, but
I can understand that spell, that gift, whatever the clergy calls it, to be used in the first place, but to dig up someone's grave and disturb...
I don't.
Well, to put it plainly, our enemy here has set the terms of engagement. If 9th level necromancy spells are what we're up against, I think using a 2nd level one to understand what we're up against is more than fair.
I think in the end, I would be happier knowing that Tim would at least maybe rest better knowing we're avenging him. But I didn't enjoy doing this in the first place either. It was just
He was
our
he was
options were our options were so limited.
And he was my friend, and I agreed to this as well. I don't like the fact that we had to dig up his corpse, but it pointed us to where the enemy is.
And not even that, it means we even know Ledric's death was not an accident.
And to be fair, Glinda, I am the one who nudged them to do this in the first place, and what they are saying is logically sound why they did it. I realize the moral ramifications to doing such a thing, but I think in the grand scheme, both this was something, while difficult, it needed to be done. And she goes a little quiet, but she nods. Then they begin looking at the diary.
Yeah.
And
Rodius will take out his contraption and swap out crystals and let them see. It was like what was it, the ledger? There was some like note that pertains to Wolverick. Yeah, it was like
right.
the note. It was the notes on infusions.
Was that also like the shipping thing, or
It was in the lab.
Uh-huh. They're more they hone into a lot of this is referencing the president of the Deuterium Corporation. I noticed.
Yeah. The slime Ledric, while talking about Wolverick, also has a vendetta against Voss, where we don't have any absolute proof yet, but we strongly suspect that Voss has been well aware of what's been going on in the school, and it has, at the very least, his approval, if not his hand in it.
Hey, guys, do you think we should have had the dean in here while we discussed all this? I mean, we haven't really told him anything.
considering everything that's even happened, even with with both Nightingale and Eric Hellis even confirming certain things.
I don't know. We can assume the dean probably doesn't know anything about what's happening, and therefore it might be good for him to know, but at the same time, as you can tell and as you'll learn very soon, this situation is delicate.
Yeah.
And having too many ears into it could compromise the mission.
Now, what are these as going over to the lab stuff?
This is
Notes on mana-born infusions. Part of what I discovered was either a planar or permanent teleportation circle hidden in the school. Probably moved by now, if I were to guess. If they suspect I found it. But inside of that laboratory were experiments doing the very same things that Professor Wolverick was giving lectures on the first day I met him, about creating mana-born out of regular people and experimenting on them, pulling people out and apart.
And it's this lab is the answer to the missing student's case. Proteus found one of the students there.
Well, I found multiples. I just got close to one of them. But the Slacker Simapore, yeah. we don't know what is walking around the school, but it has his body, but he's definitely not in it.
So at this point, it's some twisted combination of,
Artificer necromancy.
yeah.
That is a immoral and blatant bastardization of the edicts, says Nightingale.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. In some ways, the Hallowed Flames are organized to stop stuff like this. However, bringing them here would likely be the end of the school. And that is a further delicate tangle in the matter.
Well,
Something like this is even beyond edicts. It's almost to the point of needing
New
to
edicts?
addend them.
yes, that's correct. Their primary focus was to keep Monoborn and the clergy in line while still granting them freedoms to practice their beliefs and their gifts. And if this was thrown into the mix, this is artificery and apothecaries are not monoborn abilities, but this seems to be trying to create a monoborn out of someone who is not.
That, or even moving bodies without the use of magic.
Yes. But I'm gonna do a roll for Eric Ellis here.
Yeah.
What would this be under? It's like there's no biology stat, so
We can't really use a heroic inspiration.
Wouldn't it be
on this sort of thing,
nature?
can we?
yeah, I guess it would.
Like nature's biology, surely.
Yeah.
It'd be nature or medicine, probably.
Oh yeah, medicine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Either
a bit
or.
late to give him a guidance for this? Or...
You can give him if you see him kind of there, kind of like studying the paper, that you can give him a guidance.
Okay. Yeah, I would give him guidance for this sort of thing.
Okay, yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, that'll probably get him over the edge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
He says, you're maybe like, you look like you're like focusing really hard on that. Then you say, yeah, I think you can crack that, or something like that. And it seems they're using Maleficent and Hedge Mage blood to try and infuse it into non-monoborn to create someone who can cast spells. But it seems to be failing a lot of the time because they need something more potent.
Wait a minute. Does that explain the strange amalgamations we saw outside of school?
Probably. This is a piece of the puzzle, and it may not be entirely related, but the books that we've seen that were damaged or parts missing were books on dragons, and we've seen a lot of draconic imagery in regards to things like the students outside, so
Before
we believe...
mounting this, we looked at some dragon books, more or less, and Mordain knew that these books were damaged well before we reached them. And we received a note about their contents and how to find them as a trap. I believe they talked to you about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we found every single thing we have ever checked out from the library stacked up in one place from Mordain the day before he went missing. So I will say, by discussing with us, you are putting yourselves in some danger.
Unfortunately, I would say that Nightingale's already in an amount of danger, given they were trying to frame her.
I Your line of thinking in regards to dragons is sound, but they do not exist anymore. It is believed the beyond Mystery Dungeons that the source of a Monoborn's power is actually what we discussed in class today, Gorvin. With it is the belief Monoborn were made by rituals through the blood of dragons and demons, though the dragons of old were the a fallen deity is often referred to as a demon, but that is the source of it's to be believed to be the source of the power, and but those entities are either regarded as myth or don't exist anymore.
Well, unfortunately, we can confirm that dragons, or at least one, did exist. During our, before we reached here when we were in Iron Broach, there was one that was leading the murder that we fought against, and we've learned that that dragon had blood donated to the Therium.
An actual dragon.
An actual dragon. Malcolm's wearing its Scales' armor right now.
No, I ain't. I take off that stuff for school, and he reaches into his bag and pulls out the dragon scale armor.
Can I see that, Malcolm?
He places it on the desk.
He uses identify on it. It would seem they are indeed wherever they got this. This seems like the legitimate article, Glinda. Okay. If they actually what happened to the body?
We believe that they found the body before those we intended to find it got there.
Who?
We were.
Well, the murder, from what I can tell, is working with the I don't know.
No, who did you intend to find it?
Well, we told someone that we knew the person that this dragon's alias was, and we wanted to kill him, and we wanted them to clean it up quietly as the only people who knew, but
See, this is how I easily know you're hiding something, because you keep saying someone.
well, that someone would be put in jeopardy if I said his or her name out loud.
How much are they involved in this? Could they be the culprits of this too?
No. We hold far too much leverage over this person for them to take a risk like that.
That person is an Iron Broach, not here, so I doubt that person is currently involved. That being said, we did leave the dragon in Iron Broach's sewer, so we weren't aware that anybody would be able to use anything with it at the time, so that was an oversight on our part.
Well, then another.
Well, there is one person who actually might have sold him out now that I think about it. His name is Jasper.
The politician.
We told him not to because the dragon decided his usefulness had come to an end and tried to kill him, but if the murder pressed him against it, or if someone hired people to go against it, he was the closest one to the dragon. He was not the person we sent to clean it up. But he did know it was there.
Well, I suggest keeping him in your mind as we go forward, but all these line up, but what doesn't make sense about this is if they had dragon blood, legitimate dragon blood, why haven't they successfully done it?
Well, they would need a
Uh,
demon, wouldn't they? If what you're saying is true.
No, it could be
It was
either a dragon or a demon. The Great Worms were the legend that passed down the gift of mana to and demons to mortals like us.
That I don't have an answer to.
I do. Well, there's that other dragon that's kind of, you know who I'm talking about. The what was it? That Kronos guy.
Kronos?
How would Kronos be preventing them from successfully pulling this off?
Well, he had to make a deal with him, didn't he?
They made a deal with Hemlock. Hemlock traded his blood for supplies.
Well, that ain't what I'm talking about, Proteus.
What are you talking? Who is Kronos?
He's this little. It kind of looks like a stuffed animal, kinda. But he's a dragon, apparently. At least that's what he says. Now, basically, what I'm saying, Proteus, is that if he's made a deal with the murder, then that means if they fulfill their end of the deal, he might be this dragon that they need to complete their whatever madingle they do it to turn someone mana-born.
They already have dragon blood.
They had dragon blood, but Professor just said that. But you just said they needed a demon, and Professor here just said a demon or a dragon, and Kronos is a dragon.
Oh,
So is Hemlock.
Yes,
Well,
but they have Hemlock.
well,
Hemlock's dead.
That's a lot of blood.
there's a bit of an addendum to that. From what I know, the great worms of old passed their blood down to either create Monoborn or the dragon type Pokemon we see today. And you would think getting blood from Pokemon of the dragon type would fulfill this savage experiment they are trying to perform here, but it is distilled exactly like Monoborn blood. So you would need one of the great worms of old to do it properly. But again, even if this dragon you say you slain existed, in theory it would not work because it is not a great worm.
That part, I think, would line up. But that also likely means Kronos' blood would not work either, assuming he had any to begin with.
Well, that would be. Though that begs the question of why. Or maybe they weren't aware that Hemlock's blood wasn't enough, so that's why they got it at first, but it proved useless in their experiments.
Yes, that is what I am thinking.
And now we've moved on to this body snatching.
Yes, I do not know what the objective of that is. But it must be stopped. But it is a very difficult situation, as tensions between the clergy and the school and the MDRA are at an all-time high, and while it might help in the short term to get them involved in a situation like this, the long-term effects could be catastrophic. But it does need to be dealt with.
Well,
I'm just scared of what's going to happen because there's no guarantee that even if we deal with it, that everything's going to be okay. I
The
mean,
only guarantee that will happen if we take care of it ourselves and things go hot is that we are going to be puppets of the MDRA forever.
Nightingale says the MDRA? Yes, they're working with the MDRA, Glinda. And
they wanted us to look into this whole thing.
They suspected there was foul play and asked us to take a look. And while they're correct, I also know that they absolutely are trying to leverage over us as much as they can, and now we're caught between a rock and a hard place.
I left them on better terms, but if you can say that. But it doesn't surprise me that they are doing this, but in some capacity, I understand, as their audits they spring on us have yielded nothing, and doing it this way seems to have been substantially more effective.
fortunately, yeah, we've definitely their audits would continue to bring them nothing, but we've definitely found exactly what they're looking for.
And I should be clear on my stance with the MDRA. I do not hate it as a concept. I hate it for its hierarchy. We need better people in charge there.
Are the people in charge just unreliable?
The people in charge are the directors of the MDRA, are powerful mages of the Ninth Circle who orchestrate some of the practices that go on in the organization. And as per the edicts, they are a self-run mage guild that's in there. And the way they run it, I will take a stance that I don't like it. In fact, I don't mind the edicts in some capacity. I don't mind them taking children and bringing them into that environment where they can flourish. But I don't like the people in charge who shape them to their whims. And that's where Nightingale is kind of silencing, because whoever has I'll let whoever has at least a 3 in history with their modifier and everything, to make a roll.
Darn, I don't quite have that yet.
I have
I have
that.
to wait until next level to get +3 in there.
Yeah. Or if you're just is history wisdom?
Dirty 20.
Yeah, you could say she's awkwardly going silent because he's like skirting on the edges of like defying the edicts by saying this.
Oh, I just see if would I be able to guidance myself for this also, because I feel like
Yeah, sure,
Or
because
would that be-
you're kind of like mulling, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Or praying.
He's licking his temples to
Nope.
fire the brain up.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. More so Proteus gets it, but you're
Yeah.
kind of on like the cusp of it.
Yeah, Proteus will just say, well, you're free to say whatever you want. I hate the MDRA, and I think that their organization is too powerful, holds too much sway, and quite frankly, is wrong.
Really? How would you have it then?
Well, if you haven't noticed, normal people go to school anywhere they want. Why should a Manaborn be any different? And why do they have to be taken away? People that you knew growing up just suddenly one day can no longer live next to you for one reason.
But you have to understand Amanaborn's abilities are far more specific than ones without any. And their capabilities require a certain amount of attention.
In order for them to reach
to
the
not use
amount
those
of
powers for nefarious reasons.
In order for them to reach the amount of power required to become that, someone has to teach them. It takes far too long to learn it on your own.
Mm-hmm. And that is what the MDRA is in place.
I guess.
And
I don't know.
I don't know if what your upbringing was like, Proteus, but the average person does not like Monoborn. I'll put it bluntly. When you live next to someone who can destroy your house with a wave of a finger, would you feel safe?
I mean, everyone lives next to that. Everyone has a torch, don't they?
But
everyone's just too afraid. Everyone's just too afraid to think that because you can does not mean that they will. They don't trust that our normal rules of society can uphold a Manaborn just as much as any other person.
Yes, everyone has a torch, but not everyone could wave their fingers and utter a few words and make an explosion in a 20-foot radius, Proteus.
If I might interject, Proteus, do you mean any school, even schools that are not focused on Manaborn, or more schools than just the MDRA?
More schools than just the MDRA. Because at the end of the day, people can go to school anywhere they want. I don't see any reason why magic cannot be a curriculum that is just taught. And I would say that the two of you agree with me to some extent, or you would not be here.
That is true. I would agree with that to an extent, but I, being a Monoborn myself, though I do not like the MDRA, I understand its curriculum and what it was originally intent to do. And I just think the problem here is, and it's in the edicts anyway, that the MDRA do this. I can't do anything about that. And rewriting the edicts would be a hefty ask, as the weight of why those were formed in the first place would come into place. Yes, you may convince some people, but other people will not stand for it.
As it stands, though, given everything we've already talked about.
Well, no matter what, this artificery is going to change that.
Yes, you are correct in that.
We will not be able to hide this forever.
We stand on the precipice of something changing. There's no way that the world is not going to reach some form of a tipping point. Considering what's happening just beyond that teleportation circle, considering what Deuterium's up to, we stand. The world's going to change.
The problem is if it's just going to be more rules or a complete rewrite.
Or all out war.
Or out war, and that's an unfortunate possibility.
And this is why this is a precarious situation. You should think long and hard of how you were. Something needs to be done. I am not going to disagree. But who you're going to get involved, if you're going to do it yourselves, you have to think hard and carefully of what you're going to do here. I think Glinda and I will... We unfortunately have to press on as if nothing has happened, because us saying anything will endanger you.
Well, we'll
the-
think long and hard about that, but you guys have got to be ready too, because as soon as we do something, everything could go bad. So you guys have got to be ready to get yourselves and anyone you care about out of here.
We don't want to attach this to you, though, obviously.
Yes, and this is the reason why we will not make any haste actions outside of this conversation.
At the very least, if we can ask one thing, assuming you can do it, we don't know if their teleportation circle has been moved or not yet. It likely has, but if it hasn't, the way we can access it is through the library, but it's currently locked down. Would you be able to, and Nicholas points to his front door, would you be able to open that to us and let us head into the library if we decide, and however we decide to go confront it?
It would have to be on the sly, but I could
Of course.
possibly do that.
I'm not asking you to brazenly do it, just I expected it to be on the sly. That will be, if we decide to go it alone, that'll be immensely helpful.
Because despite what you think about the clergy or the hallowed flames, I doubt any of you want an all-out war happening on the air continent over this.
I want Deuterium destroyed, but if it could be done without war, then that would be obviously for the best.
Something that could be done is on the ice continent is when tension started growing once again. If you could perhaps get the MDRA and the Hallowed Flames on the same page, to get them against what is going on here, that is a fine middle ground, I think.
Well,
That is gonna be
It's a tall ask, I know, but
the
But it
MDRA is more resistant to it than they initially claimed they would be.
Anything, I feel they're more fearful to talk to the Howled Flames in the first place.
yes, and I can understand it from both perspectives. Is the scars of the Sorcerer Lords run deep.
But you are correct. If we could somehow get the MDRA and the Howled Flames to actually sit down together, show them, hey, this is what's happening. you guys actually need to cooperate, then however we manage to play our cards to do that, that'd be the easiest and best way to get things done here without it going to absolute destruction.
If I may be brazen, what the Hallowed Flames dislikes about the MDRA, despite it being in the edicts, is the fact they're self-run and they're not as transparent as they would like to be with regard to what goes on in the MDRA's towers. So perhaps if the Directorate could be replaced with some better candidates. But then lies the problem is MDRA is a self-run mage guild, and it's in-house who they appoint members of the Directorate.
Yeah,
That sort of thing would need a complete restructuring.
Yes.
Like, almost the equivalent of a governing body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't really have any connection to anyone higher than just some student out here doing her own little thing.
Yes, that's why I said I know it's their presence is over on the ice continent. From what I hear, there are a lot of them going over there.
So if we want to do that, we need to be over there ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's
And suffice to say, I would like to be part of the Directorate.
Would you even be able to since you left the MDRA?
I am still a mage. The door is still open for me. I left on my own volition. If I was excommunicated, I would be labeled a malfeasant, usually, is what they do. But I am not.
I see.
I don't want to bring bad blood, but someone else will.
I know. This...
Didn't you break the edicts already?
With what?
The MDRA knows that you hid your children.
I did not break the edicts by doing that. I just simply did not report it. And how do you even know about that?
They told us.
Oh, I figured. I figured as much. I skirted around the rules. I did not break them.
Well,
This
I'm glad to
way-
know that you have a more devilish side to you.
That's not devilish. That is... I told you my problems with the MDRA, and, well, I would not want my children to be a part of it. It's that simple.
Fair enough point. We're getting more bodies into the MDRA that are familiar with you, help your chances of getting to where you need to be.
Well, you'd probably need to be a part of them in some capacity, or you're working with them, correct?
Yes.
Loosely, I guess is the better way to put it.
We're more like contractors, if anything.
Well, if you have a solid foothold in the organization, that's when, even in that case, it would be hard to reform the Directorate, because they run they run the entire organization, and
What's saying in the...
it would almost be like a coup if you were to do it. But I think it's a long time coming that the MDRA had a restructure in its leadership. There are 5 seats on the Directorate.
Do they
And-
regularly hold the same power for years on end?
Yes. Because nothing in the edicts forbids them to do anything. They're self-run. And if I were on the directorate, I would make sure we had more transparency.
It'd certainly be complicated, but I think it would also make things easier in the long run if we could somehow get you there.
And there's still 4 more seats. You would need 4 more proficient mages to fill those seats, and also reliable ones. Well, if you're talking about this in the open, I would like to go back to there if this were the case.
We're already talking about things as far as rewriting the edicts.
Yes, I think we should go back to the matter on hand. Do you know how you're going to press forward in regards to, he points to the lab crystals, this? Because letting it settle too long
Will cause problems.
Yeah.
We're not fully decided yet. I imagine more than likely, in order to avoid the worst case scenario, we'll have to take care of it ourselves with, at best, maybe a few allies. And those allies would need to be well aware that they're getting into a sticky situation.
I think anything involving the Hallowed Flames right now and any assistance from them is completely out of the question.
Right now, our current tentative plan is to begin to try to set up a media blitz against Dithyrum. Because while we can go and take care of this, that won't stop them from continuing these practices unless others are brought in to keep them in attention, which can involve the MDRA and Hallowed Flames, but rather than bringing them in directly, bringing this information to light through media outlets, I think might be a more organic way for the two to see eye to eye.
that
we
is
already understand that if it's not done right, then it's just going to be swept under the bus like another news story rumor.
yes, and this is a tall ask too, because Dithyrum controls the media, and if you're going to use a third party one, it'll be seen nothing as a tabloid. So if you're going to have a media blitz, it better be a good one.
Yeah, well, that's what I think we're going to spend our week doing.
Because if Wolverick and Mordain are involved and they have already made a move, they're up to something.
We may not have a lot of time to sit around and plan. We have to walk the fine balance between not rushing into something, but not waiting so long that whatever move they make will manifest.
The clock just keeps ticking.
So we're going to have to identify our allies, come up with a plan to get down there without anyone knowing. All while we have other things we got to take care of.
It's difficult, but it's what we have to do. I'm thinking if we want to go down there, we should try and do so at the soonest tomorrow, and we should probably not take more than 2 days. And if we could even go in today, that'd be great, but I don't think we're going to be able to fully
I'd
come
worry-
up.
I'd worry we're not prepared enough to go in and do anything drastic today.
I would
Yeah.
say that we like Wednesday is probably the earliest we could do this. They're getting more time to move things around, however, they aren't aware of how big we are becoming. And we need to use that to our advantage. They know we're coming, but we're going to come with a lot more force than they were planning for. That's the only way this will work.
We'll have to. That'll be how we'll have to play it then.
All right. Is this meeting concluded then?
Yeah, for now I think
believe so.
so.
Yep.
Thanks
I
for all
believe.
your help.
Nangil, I'm so sorry that you've had to get dragged into all this.
Well, it seems I was forcibly already, considering what happened.
He nods.
Yeah, you weren't exactly given much choice.
But I hope you do solve it. I will prepare myself if you wish to remove Mordain from that atrocious curse he has on them. But I cannot make any guarantees I can successfully do it with my powers.
Well, if with any luck, we'll just run into the guy who ain't him, take care of him, take the thing off of him, and then Mordain will be free.
Yeah. Yes.
With that spell, would they be able to move his body?
It requires it. The victim must still be fed, but he doesn't appear to have any. I don't know how he's being fed with these crystals around him. But yes, he could be moved.
All right, well, at least we know, even if he's not in the same container, he would have to be in one like it if they wanted to continue the low maintenance style they have.
Yes. And unless you have anything else you wish to say, you're kind of let out and back into the school area with it being around like 5 p.m. now.
Do we want to head to our rooms here or rooms elsewhere?
Probably
let's
elsewhere.
All right, we'll head elsewhere then.
Unless we want to tempt fate by staying around here.
Probably too dangerous.
Probably just go to the hotel at this point.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take the lightning rail and you're back in your room in the hotel after a ride, and it's like encroaching on like about 6 p.m. now.
All right, so we got Kira at the very least.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who want to try to get working with us?
Well,
I think maybe if we explain things to Rebecca, she might be willing to help us. If we go down there, we're probably going to need someone to patch us up fast.
Becca being allied with the Hallowed Flames is...
Well, see, here's the thing. She's working with them, but
Well,
she's
I guess-
she's a student at the academy.
yeah, them
Chances
coming
are,
up and
chances are, if we told her that she already has an idea of what's going on, because, there was the rock over in the lake. She knows that happened, and we didn't really give her a good reason as to why. We just kind of got lucky that she decided that she would keep things under wraps. And I think that if we told her what's going on, and that if things weren't handled carefully, it could start a whole war. I think she'd understand that.
Yeah, that's a lot to tell her all at once, though, which is more the concern of
Well, yeah, but
bombarding anyone with this.
well, we're gonna have to. I mean, we don't have a lot of time.
So let's see. I
There's no guarantee that she's even at the temple right now.
guess the question is more of guaranteeing 8 seats, because we're going to have to worry about getting out of here.
One
Well,
thing at a time.
if we convince her and Anna, that's everyone we need.
What about Pori?
Yeah, well, Pori and I have been working on a project together that might make that a bit more lucrative down the line, but I want to produce some results with that first to give prudence to our continued agreement in the ice continent. Slow and steady.
Oh, you're talking about for the airship thing.
Yeah.
That's
I-
kind of the side concern that has to be sort of connected at the same time.
The group I am also thinking of we should probably just take the people who are leaving with us down there anyway.
I mean, that would make
Well-
sense. We're gonna have to tell everyone what's going on anyway.
And
But that's
we're
going to
all
be a problem
leaving.
getting them on campus.
Well, there's that.
Well, I mean,
But-
that's easy for Rebecca. She is a student.
Alumni.
And
The
Kira.
problem is with all this is that doing that, our deal with Ivy in regards to the airship is predicated on after the show happens. So if we go down there and need to use the airship as an evac plan, Ivy is not going to join us because the show has not happened, and we don't have enough time to wait for the show to happen before we go down there, because that gives Wolfric and the False Mordain too much time to do what they need to do. So I wouldn't look at going under the university and the airship under the same breath unless we want to plan around the fact that we're going to be dipping out on Ivy's deal.
We can't really do that. So.
I would prefer we don't do that too, so
Well,
that's fine.
here's the thing: if we move on that facility, we're dead. If we stay, we're either waiting for her, or we're accelerating things. I would prefer to wait, honestly, but that's the way that I see it.
I would
We'd have to wait
prefer
until Friday.
that would mean we would only be able to leave at Saturday, and that gives what day is it in universe again?
Monday.
Monday. That gives them 5 days to do whatever they want with the facility. I don't think we can wait that long.
Well, I mean, you guys are kind of thinking about two events that are kind of separate from each other. We can go down there and destroy the facility, and then just it's done with. Then we can wait.
What Proteus is saying is that if we go down to the facility and destroy it, we've got targets on our backs and we'd need to leave immediately.
Well,
The Therum is not going to appreciate us taking that out.
so what? They're just gonna have every single robot in the city start coming down on these 4 guys to kill them, even though to everyone else these guys didn't do anything wrong?
A wanted
Haven't they
poster can do quite a bit with just a few words.
Haven't
Whether
they
they're
disappeared
true or
people in the
not.
slums?
Their main method of disappearing people in the slums is giving them jobs at their corporation before they suddenly just vanish.
The other thing to consider too is this artificer necromancer? I mean, assumedly it's all under the theorem, but
It could
at
be
the same time, we're almost certain there's an actual spellcaster too, right?
presumably the false Mordain, yes.
Do again, anyone with at least a 3 in history can do a history check.
Gosh darn it, why can't we be doing this next level when I will have a 3 in history?
24.
Proteus got you covered.
That would have been dirty 20 if I was allowed guidance 21. Or wait,
19 with
Yeah.
guidance 21.
with
Yeah.
guidance 21.
Yeah, there's both. Those would both be good enough. The strange thing here is, with that line of thinking that you kind of catch, is the fact of Ditherum working with a monoborn. That makes no sense.
Right. This is a lot different from the university where you have Manaborn that are being professors. This is Ditherum directly working with one. This doesn't make sense. So
They could not be full. Well,
it
We-
must be someone else.
I suppose we know Wolfric is the point of contact between, or at least we assume Wolfric is the point of contact between both of them. How Mordain plays in, we're not sure. I think.
Wow.
I think regardless, like I said, we just can't wait on going into the lab. I think the longer we wait, the worse things get, and waiting till the show is just not going to be an option.
I mean, I'll admit the idea then that this isn't directly under Ditherum.
Does make going into the lab and discovering what it is a bit more,
Safer.
yeah.
It's still a risk, obviously, because it means going back down there, but since Mordain's disappeared, we should be able to go into the library freely thanks to the help of Arakellis. The issue then is potentially tripping alarms again. Or, well, I guess we will, won't we?
It depends on how much they've alarmed, because we don't know if Soulshade knows about the secret passageways.
Probably
No,
doesn't.
Yeah,
actually,
considering the
It's
fact
not him we should be worried about putting up alarms.
It's Necromancer.
we do have detect magic. I do have a detect magic spell scroll at the very least. Last time I
Spell.
wasn't detect magic, not spell.
Right, but I'm saying I could potentially dispel anything if we need to.
Aren't alarms invisible?
No.
I think you could still detect them with detect magic.
You have to see it, don't you?
Well, you would know it's there.
Yeah, you would know it's there is the thing.
You know that there's magic nearby, but not necessarily if it's an alarm spell or not.
Like, you'd know the school of magic when you use that spell is in the proximity of it.
Yeah, so
Right.
you know, oh hey, there's an abjuration spell around here. I wonder what it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you would
I
just know
think-
that there is a spell. You would not know it's abjuration. You have to see
No,
it
you-
for
you-
that half.
No, you would know it's
Oh.
abjuration, I think. It's just you wouldn't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, so at that point in time, the question of and the fact that we know there's magic there in the first place, like even if it weren't, we didn't know it was abjuration. The fact that we know magic is there in the first place suggests that we should be wary around there, which Well, at least allow us to, if there are any new alarms, they're detected easier.
Well, good news is detect magic just barely has a wider range of effect than alarm.
Concentration.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
That was
thank
what I
goodness.
was predominantly afraid of, is if we couldn't see it before it could see us, more or less. But we can, in theory. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, you just know that there's a magical effect nearby, but you do have to take an action to know
Yeah,
it's
you
school,
do.
and you do have to see it. It has
If
to
you
be
sense
visible.
such effects, you can take a magic action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area, and if an effect was created by a spell, you learn the school of magic.
Oh, that's weird word.
It's just
No,
more
it
or
is very
less you
weird
would
wording.
know if alarm's up, you would know there's magic nearby, but you wouldn't be able to pin the school.
If an effect was created by a spell, you learn the spell's school of magic.
Well, we could always pack
What is
see
this?
invisibility. That'll let us see the alarm.
Yeah, it's weirdly worded because there's an argument. Like I
It's a
think,
clause. Yeah.
yeah,
Well-
I think the idea of the spell is that it's when you see the fate aura that you can tell what school of magic is, but you could very easily argue that if you sense such an effect, and if the effect was created by a spell, you learn the school of magic. I could
mean,
see it both ways.
It says visible very specifically, so
But it also says blocked by 1 foot of stone or dirt, which means it wouldn't be
yeah,
there's
visible.
another
So-
more.
if it's on the other side of a door, we're not
Then we're
seeing
just
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But biggest thing is, even if we know it's there, we don't know what's triggering it. Us walking in could trigger it, or unlocking the door could trigger it. We don't know.
I mean, it's still
It's not bad. It's just
We
not
should
a
have done some
silver
abjuration
bullet.
spell studying.
So here's what I'm thinking. We just ask for a whole lot of non-detection the day we go in. Just go up to Estelle and say, I want as many non-detection spells as we have people going in.
which level's non-detection?
It's like 2.
Really?
3.
It's 3. Okay, that might get expensive.
I was about to say, depending on it's 3rd level.
And
Right, but when you use a spell scroll,
and it's like it will cost a spell scroll plus 25 because of the
yeah.
dive and dust.
It is a bard spell, so technically, if I take a class with Professor Soulshade, I can switch to it.
You'd have access just casting it, but I mean, if we had the spell scroll, you could use it without using any spell slots.
Yeah.
Expensive, but
How much are our
do
level
have to
3
look.
spells again?
It's what it takes to craft it times 2.
So to craft it is 150, so it would be
300
each.
300.
300.
325.
Yeah, 325 per
325.
non-detection.
That's already.
That's
1,000.
That's 1,300.
All right, plan
For the four
B.
of us.
We start printing out a whole lot of Still Magic auras, which is a second one, and I could make a couple. I could make at least one of those for 100, and then the other ones would be 200.
Oh, wait, I see what you mean. Are you sure that alarm and such doesn't activate for the person who cast it? I thought it was just generally a thing.
I don't know, but we can just make us all more Danes and hope for the best.
And remember, if we're
you-
bringing anyone with us, we're going to need to have one for them, too.
Yeah.
Right.
More
Yeah.
expensive.
And yeah, when you cast alarm, you designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I remember that specifically. So that's like if you have a house, your party isn't just going to be bumping into alarm spells every 5 freaking seconds.
Yeah. Though If we want to
Hey,
blow $1,000 on detect magic or non-detections, we can still do that.
Hey, slight problem I just thought of because of the fact that there was the whole like designating people and alter egos issue. I don't think calling yourself Mordain would work here if the identity is actually the necromancer.
Oh,
We
you're right.
probably.
Then we'll all be Wolverick.
I was about to say Wolverick. I mean, Wolverick's a bit more risky, but Wolverick would probably work. So yeah, Nustul's magic aura would probably work.
It'd be
Hopefully work.
it'd be half as expensive, but it'd be riskier.
New issue. Because this is continuing that line of thought. Does Wolverick even know this Mordain's a fake?
That wouldn't really matter, I don't think.
I mean, if he's the one doing the dissections and stuff, he probably
Oh, that's fair,
knows.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. So yeah, that Wolverick is probably well aware that Mordain's a fake.
So then Wolverick is still risky, but a safer choice than trying to copy Mordain for this.
Yeah. What's level 2 spell scroll worth?
I think
It's 200 to buy, 100 to make.
Okay, so for the party, that'd be 800. The Proteus can make a few.
You're going to end up revealing to anyone who's part of this that you're Manaborn doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we're mana board is probably going to inevitably come up just
I guess that's
because
fair, yeah.
Nick and Proteus are both going to be fighting with their full arsenal, so... I mean, Rebecca, if we bring Rebecca already knows Nick is a mana board at the very least.
Right. So I guess...
So it sounds like it's probably just going to be Kira and Rebecca going with us if we can convince Rebecca not to tell people that we can't have knowing.
Yeah. Should we just go bother her then?
Who's got good persuasion?
I mean,
Define
does.
good.
Nick has
Proficiency.
I have proficiency.
Nick has +8 in it, but I need
I
to
can
think
give
of a
you
good
enhance
convincing.
ability.
So this is probably going to be a full team effort.
Yeah. Cast glibness on yourself.
I don't have access to that spell.
Besides, I think it's...
Maybe we should buy
Gonna be more-
perfume. It's like enhance ability, but for charisma. You just have to be within 5 feet.
Anyway, so how are we going to get her to come with us to talk to her in a place that we aren't going to have any prying ears?
I mean, we can just have me do my magic spell, or no one I don't want to listen to us hears us. Okay.
Right, but then you're already going to be...
I mean, it might look a little weird for us to be talking about things and have no sound come out, but...
Yeah, let's not risk that.
She knows us well enough that I think just going, "Hey, Kira, can we speak with you privately?" would
Rebecca.
Oh, sorry, Rebecca. Can we speak with you privately? Would
We
get
need
us.
to talk to you about what happened when you went with us to take care of the Sun Eater.
Right.
Yeah. No one have a crystal ball.
No.
But
Such a random thing. By the way,
For
remember
what?
Crystal?
wait,
Who are
actually,
you
what do you
wanting
need
to
a
cast
crystal...
clairvoyance on?
It's not clairvoyance that I would need it for.
Brian?
No, I've got
Out with it, boy.
what?
Out with it, boy. Just tell us.
I'm sorry, my brain was forming the words and then you crashed it. It's Orb of Memories.
Okay.
Not familiar with that
I
one.
I don't have anything that qualifies as an orb, unless
It says it needs a crystal ball specifically,
Okay.
like not as a component, but like in the spell description, it says that.
Anyone ready to spend 2 hours going to the market?
No.
Well, like 20 minutes. 10 minutes there, 10 minutes out, or whatever. How fast is lightning rail?
It takes about like an hour to for a full trip. So
Yeah.
like yeah.
Here to there is gonna be an hour.
No, like every station is 10 minutes, so it'd be 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah. So that estimation, whoever made that was correct.
So it's 20 minutes for us to get there, then we buy the thing, and it's 10 minutes over here, and then we get to hang out with her. We got time. We can
Okay,
Mr. Incredible this.
okay.
What? Oh, let's see. 10, 20, 30. Time here. 40. I guess. Well, let's see. It's at this point like 6:30 ish or whatever.
Yeah, with like how much you've been talking, it's kind of getting to 7.
Do you
It'll be
need this?
late, but
Do you need this like before we talk with Rebecca, or?
It would help, but I don't think it's strictly necessary. It's more or less if we wanted to give out her proof of anything we don't have specific evidence of, it would help us with.
I mean, oh, okay. That does sound quite helpful, rather than just
So we don't have like proof of like this slime stuff to an extreme degree other than like the notes and stuff, but we could replay memories of talking to him with the orb of memories. So it would help. So again, it would help us, but it's not necessary.
I'm kind of
I
in favor of getting it.
I think it won't hurt anything if we get it.
Yeah. I'll just point out a crystal would be like 10 gold to get.
Yeah, I should probably just buy a bunch of those too.
Is it consumed?
No, it's just I can only have one replay crystal, have one recording at a time.
Oh, right. Yeah, forgetting that.
I need my VHS tapes.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I would say that's actually worth the trip then.
Okay, while you guys do that, do you want Malcolm to just kind of go get her from the temple and then wait? Because I don't want to have to pay for 2 stops
Risk.
when I only need to pay
Fair
I
one
mean,
for one.
going there and then saying like, "Hey, the others will be here in a bit," might be good, just in case she leaves earlier than we would get there normally.
Yeah.
Go talk to her about the joys of being made of grass.
We'll see.
I mean, could also just
Just hope that I don't have to make a persuasion roll.
well, I was about to say could have Nick also go and let Dante and Brodius go with the passes.
Okay, yeah, let's
That's
do
fair.
that then.
Okay, what's the plan?
So that's the okay. So the plan is we're all going to take a lightning rail, but Nick and Malcolm are going to stop at the temple. Proteus and Dante are going to continue on to the market.
Okay. All right, and that's what you're going to undergo right now?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So 2 of you spend 10 gold just to get on this thing, and the other are free.
Yep. Free passes are going to the market, so we don't have to pay an extra.
All right. So here, I want one of you to just roll a d6 for me.
Uh-oh.
Who's feeling lucky?
I'll do it. I'll get a 6. It was a 5.
Okay.
Close.
So Nick and Malcolm are on their way to the temple, and halfway there, you actually you're walking towards the temple, and then you just notice your head turns, and you notice Rebecca walking the other way.
Oh, there she is, Nick. And he's just gonna. Malcolm just rolls over in that direction, does a U-turn.
Oh.
Nick just comes up as well.
Oh, she says,
Hey, Rebecca.
"Oh, hey there. I was just going back to the school."
All right. We've got something important, and we're waiting for the rest of our crew to come here in a bit too. But there's something important we need to talk to you about. It's related to both the fight with that Sun Eater thing earlier and related to the school itself.
I'm a little tired.
It's kind of really important, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's. I understand. I understand you're tired. You probably had a busy day, but I mean, you saw. Let's just say, if you've been to the school, you probably heard that two of the teachers are missing. So that the simple fact that that's even happened should tell you that we're about to talk to you about is very important.
Do a persuasion roll.
Alrighty.
Inspiration.
I'll have it ready just in case. Oh, 26.
Well, okay. I guess I could. Where did you just want me to wait here? I guess in the middle of the street.
Well, we're gonna meet up with the other two here in just a little bit.
Yeah, we won't be in the middle of the street for too long.
Okay. Realistically, it's probably gonna take them a good 20 minutes. So
Probably 30.
yeah.
Oh, right. Frick, we need a meeting spot.
Nearby.
There might
Well, they're
be
getting-
there might be a Starbucks in like the lightning rail zone. You never know.
Yeah, there's a coffee shop there. Yeah.
Yeah,
She said she was tired. Let's get her some coffee. At 7 p.m.
I mean, to be fair, she is a university student. I'm pretty sure there are several university students who down coffee at 7 p.m.
All right. Well, you've convinced her to wait, but a half an hour at the coffee shop, I guess. Meanwhile, Proteus and Dante, you make your way to the bazaar, and I'm not going to make this too hard. You could definitely find a crystal ball here if you really want to. It'd be like 10 gold.
All right. So I'll get the crystal ball, put it down here.
You're doing that. I'm actually going to pick up a second.
Yeah, while you're here,
GP diamond.
you can shop as well. So if you want to do that.
I have to go buy a gilded acorn and gilded flower mechanically.
Okay.
So Polly's thing is now officially good to go.
Yeah. All right, and yeah, there's potions available too, and just mundane items.
Still pretty stocked up. Actually, how many superior healing potions do they have right now?
They don't do. You've already bought some, and they don't stock up until.
Oh,
Yeah. They.
Okay.
You bought them all
gotcha.
till next Monday. They'll have more come in.
Okay. I just got the second 300 GP diamonds. Just
All right.
a little more than the safety net.
Yeah. Should we just start buying those spell scrolls while we're here from whenever MDRA schmuck is here?
I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys.
Actually, maybe. So which one was it? The Mystic
They-
Aura or...
They don't sell spell scrolls. They only sell potions.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is there a potion of non-detection?
Roll
I
a
think there
d6.
is. Well, okay, I thought you meant
Roll a
existing.
d6. You want to do it or you want me to do it?
Was that a roll D6?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Roll it. Just roll a d6 to see if they have a potion. I'm only going to allow it on a 6 because it's really specific.
I'll let you roll it.
Okay.
Because you're the one.
No.
Oh no.
No, they do not have
Didn't
it.
figure.
Yeah, that's a shame. I think that's all we're really doing here for the shopping then.
Yeah, and that would have been like really shady if you found someone selling that.
Yeah.
in a back alley. It's like, hey, I want some potions of non-detection.
Man,
Wow.
that sounds like Proteus's dream right there.
Speaking of, just double checking, were you getting extra crystals for the
Yeah, I bought 5 blank crystals for replay
Okay.
crystal purposes.
Cool.
And also maybe so I can cast spells with them, but
I think that's everything we're good for here then.
All right, and then you're gonna go back.
Yep.
All right, and so you go back to the other area, and kind of near the coffee shop, you see the rest of the party and Rebecca just kind of drinking coffee.
This late.
all right.
Unfortunately, Malcolm just BRB'd.
Okay.
Yeah, we know. Or he mentioned it. So yeah, upon seeing you guys, Nick will say, "Oh, there they are. All right, let's go.
Where are we going?
Well, let's go talk to them."
Oh, okay. Sure. And she goes with you towards them.
Yeah, like where are we planning on talking? Or
Yeah,
do
that's-
we want me to just
That's a
Well,
good
she was going to
question.
go to. She said she was going to go to school, so we may as well just go back to school and talk in one of our rooms.
That's gonna be real cramped with 5 people, but
For the
wanna do
good
that?
of
I
the
mean, it's-
world.
does she live on campus?
If you ask her.
Do you live on campus?
Well, I either stay at the temple or I go back, and I was gonna go back today.
Okay, well, we might be able to discuss some things on the way back.
thought you were alumni.
No, I am. That was Kira. If you were thinking.
Oh, I'm mixing people up.
No,
Yeah, that's Kira.
Well, she's gonna just say, yeah, I just kind of wanted to get back before curfew happened. Otherwise, I'd been locked out.
It's fair considering we've gotten used to just staying off campus and kind of being free to go as a result. So I guess in that case, we're just gonna head back.
To campus.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, if we want to talk to her on the way, I can cast another zone of discretion.
I don't know because there's gonna be other people on here.
Yeah.
They will
Yeah.
see us, but they will not hear us.
I thought zone of discretion is.
Let's just wait until we get back to school.
Yeah,
Alright.
let's wait until we get back
That's
to school.
the safer thing to do.
All right. So you get back to school and like curfew's drawing near. And well, where do you want to go? Did you want to go in the lounge or the? Oh, I'd say the library, but it's obviously closed.
To our dorms.
Oh, do you have the better ones? Because it's gonna get really cramped in the ones that I'm used to.
It's gonna
I
be cramped.
I wish we did, but unfortunately, we do not.
Might be best I go to your dorm.
Well,
I don't think.
it's not gonna be any better. Mine's pretty small.
Yeah. She just said the ones that I'm used to, so her dorms aren't any better than ours.
You can sit in my spot. I'll just sit on Dante's head.
Excuse me.
I
Alright.
said She can sit in my spot, and I'll just sit on your head. Or I guess Proteus could sit on your head. We're both pretty small.
Well, I'm more mean. Going to her going
Yeah,
to
they
her dorm
like
is
this.
normal. Her going to our dorm is not.
Well, us going to her dorm is also not normal, so
But we go into different people's dorms all the time like weirdos. So
I mean, it's true. We go into Figgery to talk to him every once in a while.
Oh, and that kid who has those toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except they're not toys, they're figurines.
Oh yeah, but I know he has a nicer room because he's on the upper floor.
Yeah, well, we're going to be talking to you about some stuff that he don't need to get involved in.
Okay, well, this is very strange. I have to admit, I didn't think this would happen today. I was just gonna go back and go to sleep, but if you guys want to do this, well, let's do it. And so you get to the dorms up on the second floor, and
I think Malcolm got yoinked because while I was trying to move him over to the stair.
Yep, you did.
yeah,
Okay, where is he?
He's upstairs now.
yeah,
Oh, there he is. Okay.
yeah. Her room is right here, but your rooms are over here. So where are we gonna go?
we'll just go to your room if we have to. There's a couch outside. That's the deciding factor.
Okay. It's gonna be really tight in here, and it actually is like really tight because there's just basically two beds and just like the small aisle between them.
Yep, I've been in such places before.
we've crammed inside one of our own dorms before,
Yeah, but now
so
there's five.
But now there's
people.
5 people.
Well, it's very simple. One person sits on this bed, one person sits on this bed, one person gets to hang out with the cupboard, one person is in this corner, and one person sits on the windowsill.
Right, but the question is now, what is the
Let's
creature
shove
size?
Proteus. Let's shove Proteus under the bed.
Man.
Proteus is now the creature from the Black Lagoon.
All right.
Malcolm
Yeah.
is small. Proteus is small. Dante's medium. Nicholas is also medium.
This is very much college room vibes if one guy's just hanging out under the bed, to be honest.
So, what did you want to talk about? I hope this is quick.
It ain't really gonna be quick, I don't think.
Oh,
Well,
that's okay. I
well,
think
let's just stop worrying about how quick or not quick is gonna be, and let's just get into it.
okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
So,
cast a spell just to be safe.
Under the bed.
Under the bed by waving my hand.
Okay. All right.
so basically, I'll put it bluntly. You've heard about the missing students, correct?
No.
Oh, right. I forgot. Okay, well, students have been going missing here. They've been trying to keep it under wraps, and similarly, Professor Mordain and Professor Wolverick have vanished, and we know where students have gone missing, and the two professors who have vanished are responsible.
Well, we should get the authorities involved, right?
Quite.
The authorities are... We don't know their exact relation to it, but there are a few authorities who are potentially complicit in what's happening.
Well, we can also get the maybe get the Hallowed Flames involved.
No, see, we can't do that, because... So, how do we even start? Should we just show her the thing?
There's a lot to unpack here, and this is probably going to take a bit.
Go ahead, start showing her the thing.
All right.
To circumvent this a lot is, what are you going to show her?
Okay, so all right, this will be a lot easier for me to explain out of character than in
Yeah.
character. Okay, so the way we'd probably go about this is we'd first start off with explaining to her exactly what was going on with the whole Sun Eater debacle, what the explosion was, and why the Hallowed Flame should not be informed of this, because it could just, the very fact that that material was there would make them think it was the MDRA had something to do with it, and because the tensions are already so high, they just don't want to start a war. Then going on from there, we'd explain what's going on at the school and how Wolverick kind of ties in, Wolverick and Mordain tie in along, and how we found Professor Ledric as his slime abomination form, implicating Voss and Wolverick into
Wolverick.
things, and how if this isn't handled delicately, then it could result in like a three-way war between Artificers, MDRA, and the Hallowed Flames. And then we'd show her the crystal and the evidence that we found while we were down under the theater. And you guys have anything else to add to that?
Would you show that Proteus is monoborn?
That's up to you, Proteus.
We can tell her
Like-
now or later.
I mean, she's gonna find out if she
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can find out on the job. She can find out the way Kira did after I'm making her life significantly easier.
Okay.
So after reviewing all of this, she says, "Oh, that's this is all. Oh."
Hold on.
She faints.
Oh,
Oh, she really was tired.
Oh boy.
Dante, can you
He shoves a pillow under her head.
I mean, there's a difference between getting hurt versus, going unconscious either from stress or you can probably try to jostle her awake if you wanted.
well, you're the guy who's better at this type of stuff, so
It's okay, guys. I've got a degree in sleep therapy. And Malcolm's going to try to wake her up.
So you just kind of jostle or wiggle her. She's like, yeah.
It's more like he's like kind of gently brushing her leaf.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that wasn't a dream.
No, it was real. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's
A lot.
a
a lot
lot.
to take in.
So
Yep.
what? How does this involve me?
Well, you
Moral.
see, Rebecca, when you went with us to the Sun Eater, I mean, while we were fighting it, you said, "Why am I even here?" But the fact of the matter is, you really did help us. The fact that you can heal people that quickly, and if we're gonna go down there and try to deal with this, we aren't gonna have time to heal ourselves if something goes wrong. But you can.
But I did it to help people who are hurt. I'm not good at political subterfuge.
We're not asking you for the political subterfuge, though. Like I said, we're basically asking you to help with the healing part of it. Let us worry about. We're going down there more or less to rescue the students down there, find whatever information we can, and ultimately put an end to the facility down there. So we're not
Yeah,
asking you to join in the political subterfuge part. We're just asking you to join us down there in the rescue people and the base part, and we're doing most of that ourselves.
Asking
We
for
just need,
support.
Do
yeah,
a
we're asking for the
and
support.
you did. I just have one more thing to add. And you did say that you wanted to go to the ice continent to help people, right? Well, if you come down with us, I'm sure the students that are trapped down there would consider you helping them a pretty darn good thing.
do a persuasion roll, Nick.
All right, persuasion number 2.
Probably no guidance.
Yeah, because it's just kind of awkward doing it between in.
And I'm going to Malcolm guidance that.
Okay, that's still just a D4.
Yeah.
We should have Bardic inspired us all before walking into this.
I'm going to use my heroic inspiration
Okay.
On which one?
on the D20. Not worth it to do on D4. I know what this is gonna do. Okay, dirty 20, 21 with the bardic inspiration.
She says, "Yeah, that is true. If there's people down there that are suffering, it sounds like they're malnourished. I want to go help them, but I'm still. You say it wouldn't be subterfuge, but we're going into a secret evil laboratory, and that's like even if I'm doing nothing but healing you, I'm guilty by association."
Well, if it helps matters, we suspect that we intend to go to the ice continent after all is said and done here. We think that there might be the possibility to make better relations as well as simply just, well, quite honestly, we might just have to get out of there once we go in there anyway.
But wouldn't I? I want. Yes, you're right. I wanted to go there, but wouldn't I be a fugitive if I went there?
Well, a fugitive against who?
If um. Oh yeah, that's true. Well, it sounds political, so I assumed the politics that be would like Deuterium would report me for going into the evil secret laboratory, and I'd be a fugitive.
Well, maybe, but I mean, you're with us, and you saw how we took care of that Sun Eater thing, and we taken care of a lot of scary stuff. So you're safe with us.
We're not any strangers to combat, so and we are planning the way we're planning this is we're planning on making our way out should things go wrong, but at the same time, we have reason to believe that what's happening down the base isn't 100% deuterium, so we think it might be, at least we don't think we're going to be straight up fugitives right away. It's a worst case scenario point, but like we said, we've got plans for going, and we will be there to protect you. Though the main point as well is the theory will likely be antagonistic to us as the ringleaders specifically.
Out of
Well,
character, quick. We did not tell her anything regarding Mordain actually being swapped, right? We're avoiding that, or are we not?
I think you did.
Well, yeah,
I'm
we
pretty
had
sure
to
we
tell
did.
her.
Yeah.
yeah, we had to show that, otherwise she wouldn't know about the evil lab.
Right. That then Dante just kind of goes, it's most likely not Deuterium anyhow, considering, well, whoever is Mordain now is Mana-born spellcaster, so
Well, I do have another question. Well, how do you plan on getting to the ice continent?
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are beating around the bush there. Yes, at the end of the day, we are probably going to be in trouble with the law in some capacity here, but we are trying to pick up where it is leaving off. Because at the end of the day, that law did not catch this happening. It bred it's the capability to continue to grow. People didn't know, and it's only getting worse. If you don't help us and we fail because of that, it will only get worse. And more students will disappear, and more people are going to become unwilling experiments.
Do
Yes, we are going to get onto Theorem's bad side by taking an airship of theirs to go to the ice continent to route out the source of these issues. But if we don't, who will?
Do an intimidation.
Okay. That's not good. All right.
can he?
18.
Oh,
She looks contemplating all that of like the gravity of kind of the consequences of this. Yeah, I can understand that. That's again, that's some pretty heavy stuff, and I just don't think I was really made for this. I was made for staring at gaping wounds and missing limbs, but not this. But
Rebecca, none of us were made for this. We just kind of got thrown into it.
yeah. If you asked me a few years ago if I would be involved in any of this, I would have told you were crazy.
I just ate grass on a farm.
None of us were made for it, but it's like Proteus said, we're in a position where we can't ignore this.
but
And in that regards, the reason we're asking you is because we think you can help.
there's no one else that could possibly do this. Like, yeah, I'm good at triage and stuff like that, but isn't there someone better at this secret agent stuff more than me that would be of better assistance?
Oh, don't worry. Dante is not very sneaky himself.
He just glares at Proteus.
And you
You
haven't
can't
really.
glare at him. He's under the bed.
Yes, his voice just occasionally comes
There's
around.
just a nose and spooky eyes sticking out.
And it's just that deadpan annoyed look.
And you still haven't really answered, like, how were we getting to the ice continent? I thought it was, like, pretty barred by the Expedition Society to get there.
I already said we're
Proteus did,
stealing an
yeah.
airship.
Yeah.
Oh, stealing an airship. I must have missed that part, because, that sounds like a crime.
I mentioned that too, but yeah, regardless of the outcome here, we are going to be hurting the theorem one way or another. Even if they aren't directly involved with it, their resources are being pooled into this.
Okay.
Considering the fact that Ethereum was involved with the reasons that one of the other professors is now dead.
So
Mostly dead.
she looks really on the fence here. Looks like she needs one more good nudge to get her to go along with this. What would you say to try and do that?
Um.
Rebecca,
Ooh.
being scared of this is only natural. But it's because it's scary that we need to stop it. And no one is truly ready for anything. But it's by using what we are good at and relying on others to cover us for what we are bad at that we have made a difference thus far. We have saved lives, and we're asking you to help us to save more.
I don't know if you'll allow it, but I'm gonna give Proteus a bardic inspiration.
I'll allow you to give him a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
And I'll let Proteus do a persuasion with that.
Unless that's upgraded, still a D8 plus 2, I believe.
Yeah. There's a 19 without it.
Yeah.
Do we need to keep going?
19 without it does it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess if you need
I
another
gotta
skill check.
keep it then.
Yeah.
It only kicks in if you fail.
You know, a clever thing you could have done this morning was use that checklist you got to talk to Rebecca.
Oh.
I
We forgot about the checklist.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the checklist.
Yeah, anyway, but with that, she says, almost reluctantly says, "Okay, I guess I could do that. It sounds like I'm going to be leaving Loomhausen behind, though. And yeah, I was prepared to do that if I was going to the Ice Continent. I just didn't expect it to be on a, Monday night as I'm going home or going back to my dorm room."
That's that's how this stuff happens. You don't ever expect when the dice rolled your way.
Well, I was just gonna, apply with the Expedition Society eventually with my medical expertise, but it's just
Well,
a little weird it coming out of nowhere like this.
I'm sure, though, to be at least to your benefit, we went to the Expedition Society once. We've seen how the bureaucracy there works. You were unlikely to get into the ice continent through them for probably years and years until the situation likely ends up being resolved and your experience is no longer needed there.
Well, okay, so if we're gonna steal the you-know-what, when can I expect we're gonna do this so I can mentally prepare myself and not faint?
Uh,
We're
Probably at
gonna.
least a week.
Oh,
yeah, the airship part you don't have to worry about for probably a week.
Yeah, that won't happen until Saturday at the earliest, but maybe later.
Yeah, we kind of got to see what happens once we deal with what's going on under the school, because
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell right now.
okay, well, I guess I'll be with you for that. I'll get over this. I promise. I'll, psych myself up with some mantras. And
Deep.
Yeah, don't worry, you won't be alone. We got another person from this school helping too. Well, she used to
Well,
go to this school.
yeah, Kira's a little bit older than Rebecca.
Yeah.
yeah, we got help, and yeah, just take deep breaths, get yourself psyched up. You'll do just fine out there.
Okay, yeah, I'll pack up all my medical supplies. I got like 4 different healers kits and Yeah, the bandages. Yeah, okay. I can turn this into a positive. I just gotta think what I need there. We need warm clothes. I hope you're planning on bringing warm clothes. I was gonna do that when we were a little closer to guaranteeing myself there, but we gotta get warm clothes because it's really, really, really cold there.
I come with it pre-installed.
Well, that's good. But I don't.
He still has that sack of Wooloo wool.
And it's like when you pull it out, it's all like kind of like all like waterlogged and dirty and all that.
Gosh.
Oh well, I was gonna give you this, but looks like it got kind of dirty in adventuring. Oopsie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's no problem. I could probably find something pretty cheap on the market. Well, actually, no, they're a little more expensive now since it's getting a little colder out. I don't know what the deal with that is, but I'll be ready. Don't worry. It may not look like I am, but I will be ready.
All right. Thank you for your assistance.
Really, thank you.
Yeah, and I hate to be rude, but it is really cramped in here, and I'd like some room to process what you just told me and possibly go to sleep.
Yeah, we'll leave you to it.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry for squishing into your room.
Yeah, it's no problem. Just get your leg over there. Yeah, there you go. And everyone gets out.
So is it past curfew and we're gonna have to stay here tonight?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
I didn't want to, but looks like we're going to be in our
Well,
old dorms.
Well, as long as Rebecca's gonna be staying here, we're probably gonna have to stay here too, just to, make sure she's safe.
Yes, we only have to do that after we do the thing.
Yeah. We probably should have
Alright.
told her that we're planning on doing it on Wednesday or something.
Well, we're not certain yet. The
We
exact
should give her
date.
at least a day to know, otherwise she's gonna faint. Anyway, good night.
All right. And if you go to bed in your dorms, I'll say you wake up on Tuesday with the benefits of a long rest.
Also, long fanfare that Rebecca joined the party.
he doesn't have it saved.
You sure it's just not da 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 da?
Da, 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 da. No, wait, that's the victory theme.
Wrong one.
Okay. You are now on Tuesday morning inside Loom Hall University. What is your course of action for today?
72 hours remain.
What are we putting
I don't know, I
down on that
hadn't thought-
checklist, guys?
Actually, yeah. What are we putting on the checklist for today?
Well,
Yeah,
you had to be careful because it might be wasted.
Yeah, that's the
Wasting
well,
it is fine.
I'm not sure what to put on the checklist because at least for
Yeah,
today,
we haven't really had a
not
lot of. I kind of thought about what we were gonna do on Monday over the weekend and over the week, but I haven't really thought about Tuesday just yet.
Well, here's one thing that we should probably do. We should probably talk to Anna about going to the ice continent.
Well,
We talked about her. We talked to her about many things. We have not talked to her about going to the ice continent.
Whoops.
Okay,
So-
if we're gonna do that, you're gonna need to come up with some really, really good
Oh
arguments.
yes,
for her to do
I
that.
wrote down. It's in my notes. Talk to Anna about going to the ice continent. Make 3 arguments, but they're blank. But
Oh.
this is Crow's part. This is Crow trying to tell us what we're going to do for the next session. So therefore, I don't have to have those filled in right now.
I don't know. I mean, if I were a DM, I would have just said you wake up with the benefits of the long rest, and that's where we'll start off next time. But he didn't
Exactly.
do that.
oh my
Next
gosh.
time we'll talk to Anna, maybe, if you want to.
This is when there's a long silence with the DM not saying next time.
Anyways, I guess what we'll probably do is, I mean, we were really, I guess, we'll probably, I guess we could pick up our items at Poly.
Yeah, and while we're there, we may as well, if we want to bring him to the ice continent with us so that we can have the kaleidoscape, that might as well be a good time to talk to him about it.
I have no idea how we're gonna bring him.
I mean, on the airship. I mean,
I mean,
like I said
he would-
before, he would. Okay, you can't tell me that Polly wouldn't completely nerd out about the idea of having a mobile research station.
That, yes. I guess the other part is you can definitely argue for him wanting to go there for the sake of research because there's going to be so many unnatural creatures.
Yeah.
Okay,
Giving
then
him
yeah.
a direct route is
I guess we go try and convince Polly, go try and convince Anna, and then
Polly first, then Anna.
yeah. Also,
what are we thinking about classes then today, or just not doing that then?
I can't think of a good reason to go do any classes today.
Malcolm still needs to come back later for his literacy lessons. There are still a few letters left.
Also, since we're gonna need spell scrolls,
Oh, right.
Nick is going to use one of the sending scrolls on Estelle and say we've
I
planned.
thought we were just going to make a bunch of Nistel's magic aura scrolls.
Oh yeah, how many of those can I make at night? Is it just one?
Well, what's the time? You obviously divide it by 2. You can only make one at a time while you're doing it in your sleep.
Yeah, that's more what I was talking about, because I was pretty sure that the answer was going to be 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a level 2 spell, so I don't know what the time is.
it's 3
Right,
hours.
but he can only
3 hours, but it'd be an hour and a half.
he has that quill too that lets him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can only do one thing at night.
Yeah,
Is the
so
thing
it
there.
doesn't matter.
I thought you said you could only do one thing at a time, not only one thing at night.
Well, he can only assign, like, he makes an order, basically, of what he's gonna do during the night, and he either finishes it or, you know.
Okay, so yeah, I guess if we are going to have Proteus do his scrying, since it only takes, I guess if Proteus is like spending the entire day just scrying and still magical, or not scrying, well, scribing, there we are. If Proteus is just spending like the entirety of today scribing the still magic aura, then we probably could have enough easily before tomorrow, so we don't need to use sending on to Stell.
They'll probably want to do that off campus.
Yeah. So I guess our plan is the 3 of us not named Proteus will go talk to Polly, talk to
We're
Anna.
Oh shoot!
What?
Doesn't Proteus want to be there since?
Yeah, he probably would want to be there.
Talking
Fast
to
Man,
Anna
he's right
is
here.
important.
Okay, yeah, I guess we might.
But, while Malcolm's learning the alphabet, I can transcribe the alphabet. That's how that works, right?
Well, if you do one, it'll take 9 hours to do it fully, so a bit more than a day. But if you do one at night and one at
Wait, what do you mean 9 hours?
to get 6 Distill Magic Aura.
Okay, and that's where
hours.
we'll leave things off, guys.
I knew it would
As they
happen.
decide what to do, we'll leave things off and see what happens. All right. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun. We'll see what happens next time as they bounce ideas of what they're gonna do. Anyway, see you everyone. Bye.
Checkmate.
Bye.